feeling a little
Sorry about that.
disconnected or disjointed from your business, if maybe you've lost a little bit of inspiration for it, you still love it, of course, but maybe the feeling of the get up and go just isn't there like it used to be. Or if you've just realized because the world continues to change so quickly and you're thinking to yourself, I've spent an awful lot of time behind my desk and in front of my computer the last several years, and I am so ready to go get out and to be location independent, to go see more of the world, to live in other countries, to not be in my home country for as much as I'm used to doing, then we are going to address all of that. So today, what we're going to cover is number one, the current state of your business, what it really looks like, what the challenges are that you're having in it, and what needs to happen so you can move to the state of the business that you really want, which would be point number two. What is working for you? What do you see as maybe become a bottleneck? So we'll help you identify those. And then what do you need to do to undo the bottleneck so you can continue to move forward? The third thing we're going to talk about really quickly is what would that actually look like in some type of framework for you or formula, or if you don't like either of those words because they make you feel boxed in, don't worry about it. They're just phrases that are used. You can call it whatever you want, but we're going to show you how to get your business into position so that it's more aligned with who you really are and what it is that you really want to do. And then the fourth thing we'll absolutely talk about is if you want to take this further, get some additional support and accountability, or what you can really do very practically to move your business in the direction of having the more free time, of making it road ready, if that's what you want to do. We will also cover that. So give me a big yay in the chat if that sounds like something you'd be excited to work on today. All right. And while you're doing that, just to give you a quick kind of some background or some context on why Marie and I are here today and why we're so passionate about doing this particular work. We both have 15 years individual. She has 15 years and I have 15 years of experience in the online coaching and consulting world. Marie has a high degree of expertise in sponsored travel. She is really a pioneer in that field, and we are happy to get you more information on that if that all of a sudden made your ears perk up. And then I have been a sales strategist, sales trainer, all things selling when it comes to points of conversion my entire career, and then in the online coaching and consulting industry for the last 15 years. So we have had successful online businesses for a decade and a half. But a couple years ago, what we realized is that the passion that we had, which our particular passion happens to be travel, but the passion that we had for having enough time and having the freedom that we wanted to go do all of these other things that we wanted to do with a heavy focus on travel was something that we wanted to make available to everyone. Because here's what we know, and let me know if you identify with any of this. When you first start a business and you decide to become a business owner, what's your dream? If you're anything like us, your dream probably is more free time, more money, uncapped income potential, flexibility of schedule. You want to take a Friday off, you do. You want to take a Tuesday off, you do. You want to go travel for 3 weeks, you do, or longer. So most business owners, when they decide to own a business, come in with the excitement and expectation that they are going to have freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom of schedule. They're going to have all this flexibility, which is going to give them all this freedom. And that is going to be one of the rewards for having a successful business. But the reality often looks quite different. So you get going with your business and it is successful and you are making money and you do have flexibility and you do have to some extent a freedom, the freedom that you've been looking for, but not quite. And then you also notice that the more successful your business gets, the more responsibility that you have, the more clients you're getting, the more money that you're making, all of that increases your responsibility. And to a large extent, it puts more time back into your calendar instead of taking it off of your calendar. So Marie and I were perfect examples of that because we are now a portfolio company. Wander the Seven started a couple years ago, and we've got more responsibility. We've got more clients. We've got more client service work. We've got more team. We just kept piling on, adding on. And it's been glorious. It has been really wonderful. And we have loved absolutely every minute of it. But what was happening is we were starting to realize that we were feeling very disjointed. Some of our back office and our processes were not running as smoothly as they had been. Because we now have multiple brands underneath one company, she's got sponsors. We've still got sponsored travel. That's Marie's specialty. Show stopping sales. That's my specialty. We've got a retreat division. We've got a product division. I mean, we have really built this thing up very, very quickly over the last couple of years. And it's been fun, but it's also been, frankly, a bit of a whirlwind, which has brought in some stress that we just weren't used to. So throw a yes in the chat, or a I hear you, just a Y or an N, something, if you have encountered this over the past several years of building your business. Have you realized that the bigger your business gets, it does get more exciting, but it's also starting to feel more stressful. It's starting to feel more time consuming. It's starting to feel like the client attraction process and the clients that you're getting, they're starting to feel more of a heavy burden for you, rather than something that was simple and easy. And as a result of that, you're starting to feel like you actually do have less time to do the dream, to live the dream that you thought you were going to have as a business owner. So who's feeling that? Yay, yes. Angela? Yeah. Yeah, it happens, and it can happen slowly, but then quickly. So this is what we were experiencing, is it was kind of this slow build of, wow, we have more work. Wow, we have more responsibility. Wow, we have more overhead. Wow, all of these things are coming up. And it was kind of slow until it just felt like a dump truck on top of us. And at that point, what we were really starting to feel was overwhelmed with tasks, constantly juggling the priorities, struggling to find time for all the other things that really matter to us. For us, again, it's significant travel, but it could just be more vacation time, more time with your loved ones. And the most important thing, which was really telling, is our business was really starting to feel very chaotic. And so what we were realizing is that all the parts of a business that are necessary to have a successful business, they were no longer working with each other. They were no longer talking to each other. The business was starting to feel very fragmented. And so everything started to feel more like a chore rather than a joy. Does anybody know what I'm talking about there? Yeah. So what happens as a result of all of that? Well, you start feeling the burnout. When you have a lack of focus and a lack of direction, and your lack of focus and direction cannot simply be make more money. So when you have a lack of focus and direction, and you start to become solely focused on, okay, well, I've got to make more money, I've got to generate more revenue. It is not long before you're going to go into a full collapse brought on by burnout. That is actually what's happening. And then from that place of burnout, you start to get into all of the other things that can tank your business. You get into a frenetic state of mind. You start asking yourself, why am I even doing this? You might start getting really stressed about having to generate even more revenue. So now it becomes how am I going to make money? How am I going to make money? Instead of looking at your business holistically and remembering what it was that inspired you to start this business in the first place. And then finally, what happens is you usually come to the last two questions that'll derail you more than anything else. The first one is, how did this happen? How did I get so far from what I thought I was going to live like as a successful business owner? And then the second question becomes, what if I can't do this? What if I'm actually not cut out for this? So I'm just curious to know, how many of you have seen various levels of success, and then you hit this kind of either plateau, or you actually started to slide backwards and you weren't sure why, but you just knew something was a bit off. Has anybody experienced that? Well, if you have, we definitely know what that feels like. And we are going to provide a solution for you that we have discovered you can do in as little as 60 minutes every morning to set the pace, set the tone, and get you going in the direction that you want to. Few things to remember about this particular system, this framework that we're going to teach you, is number one, most importantly, this framework is actually going to help you focus on what matters most. It's based on 4 distinct categories, and we're going to break those down one by one for you today, so you know what each one of those are, you know how to implement in each area, and most importantly, you know how to look at your business holistically, so that those 4 components, those four core pillars, if you will, are all working with each other. That is what will help you from having a disjointed business. That is what will help you get results faster. And that is what is also going to inject some enthusiasm and some inspiration back into your business. Now, one thing I want to talk about for inspiration here before we fully roll into breaking them all down, we're not talking about hating your business. That's not what we're talking about at all. What we're talking about is there's a different level of inspiration that your business will give you every day when you're in your zone of genius, when you're doing what you love most, and when you're actually seeing results from your action and your activity. So this isn't, I hate my business. How do I start to love it again? It's more of my business doesn't have the same feel to it. I'm not waking up and with the same enthusiasm and excitement about, oh, I get to go into my office and go to work. It's just starting to feel, if it's not so much of like a drag, but a concern. Does the way I'm saying, does that, yeah, I see some heads nodding. Yeah. We 100% get that. We love our business. We love our clients, but we were also starting to feel this concern where it was, I'm going to date myself here, but time to make the donuts, time to make the donuts. We're going to get up and do the things that we have to do. And we're going to make sure we do the right thing so we can make the money and get the clients, and we're making the dough, we're doing it. And that is just no way to run a business, especially when you are fully in charge of creating your own experience. So if you've got a pen and you're a note taker, I want you to write down 4 words right now. And we are going to spend the next few minutes breaking each one of these down so you know what they are, what you need to do to get your focus on each one of these individually. Then we're going to show you how to pull them all together, and then what you will need to do next to keep this all rolling forward. Okay, I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm a little gravelly if you can't hear because I've been having some allergies or something. So one moment. All right. So, how does this framework work? We break this down into 4 separate categories. So, here are the words that I want you to write down. Number 1, the first word is inspiration. Inspiration. Number 2 is the word income. Number 3, I want you to write down the word conversion. And number 4, I want you to write down the word infrastructure. So, you should have now on your paper inspiration, income, conversion, and infrastructure. All right, so let's go through each one of these. So, inspiration. Inspiration is absolutely essential to your business because if you don't have emotional clarity on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you want to have happen as a result of doing it, you are going to lose focus. You are also going to lose creativity. And then when you don't have focus and when you are no longer in that creative space, what's going to happen for you is you're going to move out of alignment and into this way of doing. You have to do things in business and life and everything that matters. You have to do things, but a part of it is that is often overlooked is you have to be whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So if you aren't in a state of being where you're excited and you're happy and you're enthusiastic and you see the dream rather than the obstacles, you'll move into a sense of doing, which is now basically I have to jump over the obstacle and then I'm going to go find the next thing that I need to do, which may or may not light me up. And now I'm going to have to. So your whole list of what you need to do that day are just action taking measurements, which are necessary, but you're never going to get the results that you need and want if they're not attached to the inspiration that you have, which is the whole reason why you're doing any of these action steps. And the reason why you're doing any of these action steps is because somewhere in your mind, you had a picture, you had a vision, and you had a visual of if I do this as a business owner, then this is what my life will look like. Some of you have already accomplished a lot of that. Some of you have maybe accomplished most of it, but all of you, if you are here, are realizing there's a little bit more and I'm not quite in alignment with the vision that I had, or your vision has been refined a little bit. Visions are not static, they absolutely evolve. And when they evolve, you need to make sure that your business is evolving with your vision. Otherwise, you're going to lose the inspiration. So without the inspiration, you're not going to have alignment. And without alignment, you're not going to be able to do the revenue generating activities that you need to do. and keeping all of the pieces in your business working together seamlessly, because you're just kind of flat. Has anybody ever felt flat about their business? I know Marie and I cannot be the only ones. Just every once in a while, it just starts feeling a little flat. Yeah. So understanding your why behind it, understanding what initially inspired you to have this business, and keeping that inspiration going even as it evolves is the first and most important step to running a business that is not only successful, but it lights you up, and it's not going to take all of your time to be able to get the results that you want and feel good about it. So that is the piece of inspiration. Let's go now to the second component, which is income. This is a whole big ball of yarn that if we unraveled, we would be here for days and days and days and days. We spend a lot of time with our clients showing them where their income gaps are, what they need to do differently, how they can streamline and simplify their income, and how they can derive more income more holistically when they look at their business. But today, what I just want to talk to you about is income, as we are defining this particular word in this moment, are revenue generating activities, which is a great long way of saying basically marketing, sales and marketing, mostly marketing. So income producing activities always start with marketing. We see so many of our clients, and you may identify with this as well. Marketing, which again, if we were to break it apart, we'd be here for days, but concisely, marketing is everything that you're doing that's getting you visible to the right people at the right time in the right way with the right message, so they are able to say, I think I'd like to have a further conversation, or I'm ready to enroll. I'm ready to work with you, which is more sales. We're going to get to that in a second. So what does your marketing look like right now? What are your income producing activities? YouTube, Facebook, all the social platforms, emails, webinars, masterclasses, all of the things that you're doing to get in front of the right people at the right time with the right message, so that they are then able to say, I think I'd like to know more and or work with you. How many of you are doing a ton of marketing activities where it feels like I don't even know what else to do, or I don't even have any more time to do anything else? Are you doing multiple things? The emails, the platforms, the YouTube, the podcast, the presentations, the workshops, the master classes, all of it? Because we were, and we actually knew better. And we made a commitment to not do everything that was available to us for income producing activities, otherwise known as marketing, because we know that you don't need all of them. You just need a few of them that you do consistently and effectively. So here's the important thing about income. You've got to keep your marketing engine running with consistent content. Now, when we talk about content, a lot of times people start backing up and they start freaking out. Because I am making content. I am creating content. I've got so much content. I don't even know what to do with it. That's probably true of you. And there's something that's a little off, because you're probably producing too much content for too little results. So when you know how to dial down your marketing, pick three is what we always tell our clients. Pick three clear marketing channels that you know and can work towards continuing to refine, getting in front of the right people at the right time with the right message, so they say yes. That in and of itself will create a whole lot of blank space in your calendar, a whole lot of white space. That will put hours and hours back into your week when you just focus on three. You have the right message, you know how to get in front of the right people, and you can do it at the right time. So income, not surprisingly, will help you stay inspired. It's a little hard to be inspired, excited, and enthusiastic about your business when you're not making the kind of money that you need and want. If you see yourself starting to go backwards, or if for a lot of our clients, they make good money, but it's just become a grind. You know what I mean by that? It's like, okay, I can make the money that I need to make. It's coming in, it's paying bills, I can have fun, I have a nice life, but it feels like a grind. I have to go do these things to make sure that I generate this kind of revenue, which doesn't sound very fun to me. I don't know about you all. So, income is the second part of the framework that you need to focus on so that you can get the results you want faster and with more ease. Let's go to the third part. This is conversion. So marketing starts right people, remember, right people in front of the right people at the right time with the right message. That gets people to know who you are, and it starts to give them an understanding of what it is that you provide, why they would want to work with you, and most importantly, what would happen for them as a result of working with you. But those still aren't clients. Those are still what we would call prospects. So they're interested, but they have not yet become invested in what it is that you do, meaning they are not paying clients. So they may find you, they may find you cute and interesting, and they like all your posts, and they say yay and they cheer you on, and that's really great and that's really important, but that's not making money. So we that's what we call, you're popular, but you're not really profitable. And so all that means is you've got fans and followers, you have people who love you, you have people who are supporting you, you have people who are cheering you on, but they're not necessarily saying you are the solution to my problem and here's my credit card so we can get started. So conversion is all about making sure that your income producing activities aren't just making you feel good because people like you, it's putting money into your bank account because people want to work with you. There's a real difference between the two. Do you guys, I want you to really not, I know you understand it, you're smart, but I want you to really feel it. How many times have you jumped onto your latest post and been really excited because everybody's giving you the high five, and you're inspiring to them and they're impressed by you, and this is all true and it is all wonderful, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you're going, I don't know, it feels like for all these people who really like me and support me and are cheering me on, it feels like I should have more clients. You've got a conversion gap. So conversion is really important, because if you are not able to take your leads, to take your audience, to take these people who love you and are making you popular, if you're not able to transition that over into a converted paying client, clearly that's going to show up, and then it is going to affect you. What happens when you're not generating the kind of income you want and need so you can go do all the other things that you want to do? Well, we're probably back up in an inspiration now, and now you've got an inspiration gap. So you can see how these all start to build on each other. Without inspiration, you're not going to be able to keep steady and stay in alignment with enthusiasm and excitement about your business. If that happens, it's going to be hard to do your income producing activities. If it's become hard to do your income producing activities, then certainly converting is going to be enormously challenging. But what happens if you're converting just fine? You just want more conversions. You just want to grow the company. And you want to make sure that you're getting your freedom back, your freedom of time, your freedom of flexibility, and your freedom of additional income, more income. This is where, and this is the fourth point, your infrastructure comes into play. So without a strong infrastructure, what's going on the back side of your office, the back office operations, all the conversions that you're doing and all the clients that you're serving, it's going to start getting a bit wonky, and it's going to start getting a bit challenging. And that's because you just don't have the support internally. I'm not even talking about team right now. I'm just talking about an infrastructure. There's no infrastructure that's built into your business, and your processes and systems are not allowing for you to create easier conversions, which is making the income producing activities more of a drain on you. And here we go. Now we're back to, I've not lost enthusiasm completely for my business, but dang, this is just getting a little bit hard. Anybody feeling any of this right now? You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So infrastructure, why is infrastructure so essential? You have to have solid systems. This is truly what makes you work smarter, not harder. Um, we have clients that are both very front facing, meaning they can go do these income producing activities and convert, and their systems and processes in their back office are a hot mess. And then we have the exact opposite. We've got clients who have the most beautiful systems and processes and infrastructure you've ever seen in your entire life, but they're challenged with faster, more ease kind of income producing activities and conversions. So I'm going to give you an example of both, and I want you to see how you would diagnose yourself. So one of our clients, Jen, she is amazing about going out and doing income producing activities. She's great at networking. She loves to get out and do things in person. She's also really good at posting on social. So she's got her income producing activities dialed in. She loves to go do them. But she gets very stressed out because when she gets a client, it's kind of, oh, everything has to stop and I have to serve this client. And then what happens is she stops doing income producing activities, and it becomes very challenging to do this on any kind of consistent basis because she's completely focused on serving her client. You want to be completely focused on serving your client, but if you don't have an infrastructure that is supporting you with systems and process to serve your client, and you don't have an infrastructure that is putting your income producing activities to a large part on automation, recipe right there for things are not going to go so well. So just take a minute and think to yourself, do I usually have systems and processes in my place? Do I like to tinker around with my website? Do I like to get into my CRM system and make sure everything is aligned perfectly? Is that something that really brings you joy? Because if you are, then you are a back office person. Your challenge is going to be income producing activities. If, on the other hand, you're like Jen, who does the income producing activities really well, but then gets stressed out because she has to do everything due to a lack of systems and processes, that becomes the challenge for her. So it's kind of, you're either somebody who goes and does all these things on the front end. You're just like, you're a wild woman. You're going and you're doing all your marketing, you're on the socials, you're emailing, you're doing all these things, and you can get clients. That's actually a strength of yours. But sitting down and taking time to make sure that there's an order and a structure and an infrastructure behind the scenes, not your thing. On the flip side, if the beautiful back office is your thing, you're probably realizing that, why don't I have more clients? You don't have more clients because you're spending most of your time putting together everything on the back end so that it's nice and easy. Here's the thing that I'm going to tell you that is the scariest part of really being a business owner. The scariest thing of being a business owner is actually selling. Whether you love it, whether you're great at it, whether you kind of shy away from it, whether to some extent you dread it, and all of that is okay. It is truly the hardest part of being a successful business owner. Here's why. There are all of the things in your business that absolutely need to be done. They've got to happen. A lot of them are things that only you can do, or they could be outsourced, but you haven't quite figured out how to do that, or you don't have the budget for it. So, as the CEO and the business owner, you're sitting down and you're saying to yourself, all of these things have to be done. My website needs to be beautiful. I need to be posting on Facebook and social and emailing and doing presentations and webinars. I need to be serving my clients. Oh, I need to be creating content. I need to. And what's not happening is anything that's actually going to bring you revenue directly. So, the number one thing that derails every single business owner is staying busy without actually accomplishing the primary goal of any business, which is profitability. And the only way to get to profitability is to ensure that you have revenue generating activities that are actually turning into real revenue. I'm going to take a sip of water because that was a lot. I want you all to absorb that. But I'd love to know, while I'm taking a sip of water right now, what's something that may be coming up for you right now? What kind of a aha moment have you had? I'm jump over and look at chat real here. And I'll give you all a minute because I know sometimes you're typing. Big realization, what's coming up for you? Are you feeling uncomfortable? Because if you are, that's great news. You should be feeling uncomfortable. More
Yeah,
clarity,
I
inspiration.
love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that because that's really where it starts. It really does. And that's where 100% what happens is where we lose that focus, when we lose that inspiration, that desire. And that's what happens first when we get kind of overwhelmed with it all. That's what we noticed as well.
Yeah. And then Rainey is saying more inspiration on what business start, even though it sounds scary. Right
That's
now, are
right.
you just starting a business? Thinking of it. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this happened to us too. And the thing is, it's not a stop, start, which is why we created this framework, because what we were seeing were our own cycles. So Marie and I would get really fired up, and we know what our big vision is. It's very clear. As Marie says, we write it out like 17 times every month. I mean, it's just, we know what our business vision is. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to get there, and we know where we want to go. But the tangle that happens, and we were experiencing this, and I'm addressing inspiration immediately, is you cycle through it. So we would be very inspired because we have extreme clarity on our vision and what we want to do. But the doing of everything that was necessary to get done can become a burden. And so we were starting to just wane in inspiration then. And it was kind of like, why are we doing this? Which sounds silly, and we know, and but there's the why you're doing it, and then there's the remembering and the feeling of, oh yeah, I'm doing this because, and I'm excited, and I'm fired up. That's an inspiration that's real, that you can work from, rather than your vision board, which shows you what your inspiration is, but you have no emotional attachment to it. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. Really, when you get in your comfort zone is when you should start getting worried, because the business is going to evolve pretty quickly or devolve pretty quickly. So always staying a little bit in a position of feeling uncomfortable is a great thing. It's the best thing that you can have, not just for your business, but for life. I always like to say all the good stuff's on the other side of that edge, right? If you're living on the edge, you're not living close enough. You got to get off of it and see everything that's out there, because that's where all the profound things that could happen to you, the best results, the biggest results, is in that space of feeling uncomfortable. So that is directly tied to your inspiration. All right, so let's talk about now, any questions on any of these 4 points. So do you have a, not just an intellectual understanding, but do you have a different feeling, emotional comprehension about what we're talking about here when we talk about inspiration, income, conversion, and infrastructure? Does it just feel a little bit differently to you? Yeah, you just nod your head. Okay, great. All right, so let's talk about the specific mechanics then of what we have created, which we call the 60-minute freedom framework. And what this framework does is, it really is the secret to getting more time back on your calendar, more freedom to do what you want, when you want it, and the way you want to do it, and location independence. Excuse me. I want to, somebody said something. Was that you, Marie? No, I thought I heard somebody say
Nope,
something.
nope. We're good.
I want to talk a little bit about location independence here for a second. Years and years and years ago, there was this concept of digital nomading, and digital nomading predominantly were younger people in their 20s. They were kind of backpacking around the world. And it was this sort of splashy, glamorous way of living when people would see it. It has completely morphed over the years into a very real way of living and being, especially when you are a business owner. When you're a business owner, you have the freedom to go anywhere you want, stay for however long you want, do what you want while you are there, including living your best life, sightseeing, living like a local, and running your business. And you no longer have to do it in this kind of backpacky sort of style where you're in and out of hostels. Most of our clientele are over 50. All of them are over 40. No, 98% of them are over 40. And what they're really looking for is the freedom to be location independent, going where you want to go, doing what you want to do, staying for however long you would like, and not having to worry about whether your business is producing, is generating revenue, and is successful. So how many of you really do have aspirations to go live in Asia for a period of, say, 3 months or longer? It doesn't have to be Asia. I was getting to the next country. Go to Europe, pick a continent, pick a country. How many of you truly, to you, that is living your best life? You're not getting up every day and going into your office and sitting there for 8 hours. You are on the move. You are a global citizen. You are going to exotic places and locations, and you're living and working and dreaming in various places around the world. So that's certainly how we live. Is that anybody else's dream? Is that
Tangible,
something?
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the number one reason why we created this 60-minute freedom framework. We can run our businesses. We've had successful businesses for 15 years. Wander the Seven, which again is a fairly new business, under 2 years. It's been doing great. We've run all our numbers and get ready for 2025. So we know, with real key performance indicators, real financials, we know what we have accomplished in the last, say, year and a half with Wander the Seven. And we also know that as much freedom of time as we have to go travel and go live and go do things that are international, or at least out of our homes, we're both US based, so we like to go to different states and spend time there too. We want more. We want more. We want more freedom of time, freedom of travel. So instead of, 6 to 8 months out of any given year where we're not in our home office, we want to move that up a little bit. Or instead of doing a 3 month run at any one time, we want to turn it into a 4 or 5 month run. So even as seasoned as we are with slow travel and living abroad in cycles like that, we still want more freedom of time to be able to do that. And we also want more freedom of finance to be able to do it even more, even better, even bigger. Now, everybody has their own dream, but if what you are really after is location independence, the freedom to go where you want to go, when you want to go, and spend as long as you would like there, and you are of the mindset where you think, I don't really want to have to choose between income and adventure, then you are absolutely going to love the 60-minute freedom framework. This is what put a whole lot of time back into our calendar. It got us more clear. It got us more secure in the knowledge of this is what we need to do. We do it in an hour in the morning, and then we move on with our lives. So who's excited now to dial down into this, the 60-minute freedom framework? You ready for this? Okay, great. All right. So if you think about your first hour of the morning, which is 60 minutes, that's an hour, we're going to chop that up into 15-minute increments. And therefore, we have four 15-minute increments. Guess what that correlates to? The four things that we just talked about: inspiration, income, conversion, and infrastructure. So in the morning, the first thing that you're going to do is make sure that the first hour is just for you. And in that hour, here's what you're going to do. The first 15 minutes, you are going to reestablish and redefine what it is that's inspiring you about your business and what you want it to eventually look like. So an example would be, last year I spent 3 months in what used to be the Eastern European bloc countries. It was phenomenal. And then I ended it in France, which is my heart's home. So that would be a good example of, I want to spend 3 months in this area at this time of the year, and I don't want to have to worry about my business. Now, I want to be clear here with our clients. What we remind them is, this isn't about taking more vacation. That's actually a different mindset. This is about location independence, which simply means you are working and living from anywhere that you choose, in addition to vacation. So in that specific example, I was 3 weeks in former Eastern Europe bloc countries, but the 10 days I was in France, that was a vacation. The week that I was on a catamaran cruising through the Croatian islands, that was a vacation. And I really don't work Mondays and Fridays in general. Marie and I don't work Mondays and Fridays in general. That's when we're at home. We certainly don't do it when we're traveling. So location independence allows you to live like you're living at home with everything stationary, but so much better because you're getting to do all of these cool things. So the first 15 minutes of your first hour of the morning, it's going to be reattaching what inspires you about your business and remembering or redefining what it is, what your ultimate vision looks like. That is what's going to keep you inspired. So for the two of us, for Marie and I, when we get up in the morning, we don't do this together. We do this on our own, and then we have a team meeting every morning. So the first hour of the morning, the first 15 minutes, I'm writing down, next year we've got a very, very aggressive travel schedule. So I'm remembering, I'm writing down, I'm redefining. Yes, in May, when Marie and I are leading retreats in Italy and Greece, I want to go for the month before. I want to go in April. I want to do this. I want to go here. On the backside of that, in June, I want to go this. I want to do here. And I want to go here. I want to do this. And why is that inspirational to me? Because that's what I want to do. And I got to figure out a way to do it. That's a mini inspiration in the moment because we're talking about something finite that is happening in a specific time. But from there, then I can reattach to, oh, yeah. And if I'm traveling, if I'm living over there for 3 months, then I can do this. Right. I love writing historical fiction romance novels. I'm working on a series of those. I can do that. And that really inspires me. And then I can get on, with Marie and we can do these live launches while we're in these beautiful places, teaching our clients what to do, which we love to do. That is inspiring to me. So you've got a little trifecta there going on for you, and this is how we frame it up: is this is what you want to do. This is just, it's like your selfish why. I want to do this because I want to do this, and it doesn't really matter why. It's just that's what you want to do. And then you realize I can do these things in my business, and that's how I'm going to serve clients. That's how I'm going to make a difference in the world. So for the first 15 minutes, this is all about reattaching, reestablishing what inspires you about your business. Does that feel good to everybody? Like, yeah, if you don't go in there and remember that, believe you me, and this is where we were headed. I got to make the donuts. I got to make the donuts. I don't have time to be inspired. I don't have time to remember all the things that bring me joy. I just got to get up and do the things that I need to do to keep my business running and keep my business growing, which, that is not fun. So, first 15 minutes, inspiration. Now, the second 15 minutes, you're going to focus on what are my income producing activities for today. Today, what things need to happen so that I am in front of the right people at the right time with the right message so that they want to take the next step and eventually work with me. What do you need to do today that are income producing activities? I can guarantee you do not need to work on your website. That is not an income producing activity. You can do it later. I'm not saying it doesn't need to be done, but when you sit down and in that second 15-minute block, this is what you're going to be saying to yourself. Yeah, I posted something yesterday and 20 people replied to me and said, that sounds really cool. I'm going to directly follow up with them. Okay, what's another income producing activity I need to do? Oh, 3 people last week said they would like to talk to me this week. So I'm going to go call them or DM them. And let's do one more example. I need to put up my fresh post today that talks about the freedom framework, and then I need to see who responds, and then I'm going to make a plan to follow up with those people. So this is a really tight focus on your income producing activities. The second 15-minute block is you're going to make a very clear plan because you know very specifically what you're going to spend the rest of your day doing when it comes to income producing activities, which frankly should be the bulk of your day. If the bulk of your day isn't focused on income producing activities and the next piece conversion, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Everybody likes to make it sound so easy. You can just, throw up landing pages and go post on Facebook and get into Facebook groups, and it's not. It takes time, it takes consistent effort, and it's work. You're going to have to do that. But in those 15 minutes, what you're going to do is get really clear on, this is where I need to spend my time today. Prevents overwhelm. And I will wrap this all up for you on how it prevents overwhelm in just a minute. Third piece is the conversion. So the conversions are, who is ready to have a conversation with me? What conversations what conversations am I having? Who said, okay, I'm trying to get the money together, but I'll let you know. So that should already be planned out, but we're not going to worry about that for today. But conversion activities, that's moving your interested prospects into becoming invested and paid for clients. That those are tasks that need to be done. So for that 15-minute block, you're just making a plan for those conversion activities that have to happen today. And then the final 15 minutes is what does my infrastructure need today, maybe this week, to make sure that all of this is being supported. So if your third-party payment is not been acting right, or it's not streamless and seamless enough for you, take a look at that. If your emails that need to go out for the people who have enrolled aren't set up, or they need to be revised, take a look at that. So these are the behind the scenes, back office things that have to happen to make sure that when you're front facing, you've got your whole business working with you together. So here's the non-ideal version of this first hour. Here's the non-ideal version of what happens when you don't do this first hour. You get up and you go, all right, I'm not okay, wait, let me think. Yeah, I gotta make money today. So let me go post. Okay, maybe I can send some more emails. I'm going to start scattershotting everybody in the DMs. And then what was it? Oh yeah, my website's a mess. Let me go make sure I do that. And my VA had some questions, so I got to make sure I talk to her. And yeah, okay, I'll figure it out. I got to get going. And you're just off. You're just off and running. But the problem is you're running in absolutely no direction, and you're really running in circles because you have no plan. You haven't thought anything through. It's being a gig master. You get up every day and you can hustle. You're running the gigs, you know what to do. You can get clients, you can make money, but it is exhausting you and you're on the verge of burnout. So don't do that anymore. Here's how the freedom framework works for you so that you create a much better day. You get up, you sit down, get your huge mug of coffee or whatever else it is that you drink, and you go, I have an hour. And for 15 minutes, I'm getting my journal out and I'm reattaching, or I'm refining what I want to do here so that I continue to be inspired. That grounding exercise is the most important thing you can do in the first 15 minutes, that first part of your morning. Then you're going to say, okay, income producing activities. What have I been working on? What am I working towards? And what needs to be done today? And then you make a very clear and simple plan. Then you're going to move into conversion, and it's how do I take the income producing activities to the next level? Who is ready to convert? Who needs to have another consultation? Who needs to set up an initial consultation? What am I doing today to move these people through the pipeline so they're that much closer to converting and becoming paid clients? And then the next thing you're going to do is say, okay, great. Now that I've got my plan for all of this, what infrastructure pieces need to be working today to make sure that all of this happens, so that when I send somebody an email and they reply, I will actually get it. When I go into the DMs and follow up with people, the DM is set up and I've got my notifications turned on so that I know when people are responding to me. If you do that for 1 hour every day, first thing in the morning, here's what is going to happen. You will no longer be in overwhelm because you're going to know exactly what tasks need to be done, and that is it. Everything else falls away. You will have a sense of freedom about all the priorities because you're going to know exactly what they are, and there's no more juggling. You're also not going to you'll have time for what matters because you're creating this free time, this white space on your calendar, because you're not in a frenzy kind of trying to do everything when none of it is really put together or makes any sort of linear sense. Your business is going to feel calm and not chaotic. That is a huge thing, huge thing. Do any of you go absolutely bonkers out of your mind when you feel like you're sitting in chaos? We hate that more than anything. It's a complete freak out for us. So I don't know if we have control issues or organizational, like we're maniacal organizational people or something like that. But I know when Marie and I feel like whoa, this is very chaotic. It's enormously stressful, and it shows up in your business, and it really is the same thing for you. And you're also going to start seeing results faster and with more ease. So 1 hour in the morning, it gives you a clear plan. It fits into your overall strategy, and it allows you to implement that day what needs to be done for that day, knowing that tomorrow will take care of itself. And it's much easier to have tomorrow take care of itself when you're doing what needs to be done for today. So I want everybody to close your eyes for a second, because that was a lot of words, and I want you to feel and not just comprehend. So imagine getting up. We're almost finished here, so we'll be out on time. Imagine getting up in the morning. Picture yourself getting up in the morning, getting your favorite drink, and you walk into your office and you have this beautiful expanse of clean space. Your laptop's there, your coffee's there, your journal and your pen are there. That's pretty much all you need to see and all you're looking at right now. So it's this beautiful clean space. And you set a timer, and the timer is set for 15 minutes. And now what you're doing is you're going into your journal and you're writing all those beautiful things and all those beautiful reasons of why you want to be a business owner, what your original vision was, maybe how it's changed or evolved, but you know. And you're writing things like, I'm going to my daughter's dance recital, I'm able to take every Friday and Monday off, I'm going to leave and go on this trip and I'm going to stay there for 6 weeks. So you're writing down all of the things that are really important to you, and you know that when you have a business that is successful or more successful, getting better results than it has been, you can accomplish all those things. So now I just want you to take a breath in and release that. And we're going to move into income producing activities. And now I want you to imagine looking at this short, simple list of what you're going to do today, where your focus is going to be today, and it will not take you much time at all. And it could look like, oh, I'm going to go create these 3 emails, and then I'm going to go post on Facebook, and then I'm going to go record a podcast. So 3 emails, I can usually write 3 emails in about an hour. If you got a podcast, let's say it's another hour, and then posting on the social platforms, let's give that an hour. That's 3 hours. That's all you're doing. 3 hours, 3 hours of work. So feel that feeling of, this is what I'm going to do, and it's going to be done in 3 hours. Like, that is the heavy lifting right there. That is the bulk of the work. Clean, simple, not chaotic, not doing one thing and then saying, what do I need to do now? What happens next? Where am I going to make money? Who am I going to talk to? Okay, take another deep breath in and release it. And now you're moving into conversion. And this feels good, not scary. So now imagine yourself saying, excellent, I get to follow up with these 10 people today. Super cool. I've got 3 consultations on my calendar today. These are people that are expressing real interest in becoming a paid client. So you write it down and you get to move on. Take a deep breath out. Finally, you're in infrastructure and you're saying to yourself, okay, let me think. If I'm going to go post on Facebook and my social platforms, is that content already stored somewhere and I just need to pull it? Yes, it is. Thank you. Good, because you've been income producing activities previously. Does my VA know what she's responsible for this day, et cetera, et cetera. So take a deep breath in, out. And last thing, now I want you to imagine every single day being that day. You get up, you are calm, you have your coffee, you create your plan, you know what you need to focus on, you're excited about doing it because it's attached to what inspires you, and you implement, and you are done with your day. Okay, you can open your eyes. Marie and I have found when we created this, we had kind of the idea from somebody who's huge out in the space. He's not in the coaching and consulting industry. He's like a, Tony Robbins level kind of thing. And there was this concept, and we really liked the concept, but it was kind of not exactly what we wanted. So we recreated it so that it was very specific and it worked for us, and it just was kind of tightened up a little bit more. And this is what we came up with. So this is our original creation, our original language, everything behind it. Here's what I want you to hear more than anything is, when we implement this and we do it consistently, and we are not perfect, but when we implement this and we implement it consistently, we are actually finished with our work by about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're done. Everything from 1 on are things that we actually want to do. It has given us more freedom. It has made revenue generating activities more easy, more ease. There's more ease and more flow to them. And we have produced more financial results. All right. So last thing here before we go, here's what we want you to know. First of all, who's gotten some value out of this? Do you see how you can structure your day? a little bit differently with some focus and how it's going to carry over into the rest of your day. And then you've got a compound effect going on. Yeah. All right. So, of course, we want to let you know that if you are interested in taking this further and really getting what it is that you need to be able to structure your day like this, follow it consistently, don't veer off the path, and start putting more time back onto your calendar, getting more financial freedom, better financial results, and you're able to step back into living the life that you thought you were going to live when you became a business owner or the next level of it, then we would love for you to come and join us in our 60-minute freedom framework. It's experience is really what we're calling it. It's not a workshop. It's not even really a course. It is truly an experience. So, Maria, if you could just pull up the info page for everybody, that would be great. Perfect. Okay. So I am going to share my screen here really quickly. Okay. Can you all see this? All right. So well, you can read through this on your own. What I want to do is walk you through the most important parts down here, which is this. So this is what you're going to be doing. We will work together for it's a total of 4 weeks. It's 1 hour each week. You are with us. It is a training and an implementation session. So in 60 minutes, once a week, you're going to learn what you need to do, and then you're actually going to go do it in that 1 hour. So this isn't teaching you information and then turning you loose and saying, good luck, let us know how it goes. So here's exactly what you would do and learn how to do in the 1 hour once a week for 4 weeks, implementing every single step of the way. Number one, we're going to help you reattach and redefine what does inspire you so that you are very clear and you get up every day with enthusiasm and excitement because you know not only what it is that you want to accomplish, you know why you want to accomplish it. And that's living the life and the vision that you have in your head. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to show you how to cut down on about 40%, if not more, of your busy work that you are doing right now, which is not producing any income because they are not income producing activities. The third thing that we're going to do is we're going to show you how to increase your conversion. So again, moving people through your pipeline so they more quickly become invested and paying clients as opposed to interested in telling you they love you. We're going to show you how to do that in a simple way, in a time effective way, so that getting clients just it feels good. It doesn't feel like I got to go figure out how to get clients today. And then finally, we're going to show you your infrastructure, how to put it together so that it's supporting everything else that you're doing so that a lot of this truly becomes automated. Now, what happens for you as a result of that? You are going to step into a lifestyle where your work feels like an adventure and you are truly location independent. Location independent, a few states over, a few counties over, international, all of it. But if you've got the desire to live, work, and experience and be and enjoy the planet that we're on in a way that is unique to you, that's what we're here for. We are experts at doing it. We have been doing it our entire lives. Again, we'll let you read through this again because I want to make sure we're ending on time, but here's what I want you to know. We are starting next Thursday. We are starting next Thursday. We go for 4 Thursdays. You are implementing every single step of the way. Here's what you're going to get: the 1 hour training and implementation session. You're going to get daily action prompts. So we will be texting you or sending you daily action prompts. That's to ensure that you're not getting off track. It's to keep you accountable, and it's to keep you doing what needs to be done so that you can be who you want to be. Of course, you're going to get all the templates and the workbook and all the collateral that you need. And then you are also going to get as a bonus an introductory strategy session with me. And what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at your current business, and then we're going to customize your 60-minute freedom framework to you so that you are focusing on what you need to focus on in a way that makes you feel good and in a way that you're going to get results. So we are talking minimal time because we are all about what can we do as quickly as possible so we have more time to go do all the other things that we love. And right now, this is also really a no-brainer investment. It's normally $497, which even at that is a killer deal, but we're doing an early Black Friday, Cyber Monday special. So right now it's only $297.
And Jane, I just want to mention it's Tuesday the 21st, not Thursday, actually.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Tuesday the
Okay.
21st.
I just didn't want there to be confusion. So,
Yeah. All right. So, last thing we always like to end with is this quote. It is Henry David Thoreau, and it is um, to go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life that you have always imagined. That's what we want for you. It's what we've been able to do for ourselves, largely in part of this 60-minute framework that we have created, that we have polished, that we have refined, and that we now implement every single day. It is fast, it is simple, does not take a lot of time. Even at 497, it's not a lot of money right now. It's certainly not a lot of money of 297, and it will change the daily tempo of your business. And ultimately, what it really does is it changes the trajectory of your business. You can get where you want to go with ease, with flow, and get the freedom and flexibility back into your life. And when all of that happens, you better believe me that inspiration isn't even a strong enough word. You will bounce out of bed so excited to go get to work. And a lot of times, Marie and I know we when we talk in the morning, I'm like, a really hard time falling asleep last night because I was so excited that today was the day we were going to do this thing. And it's like that almost every day. I'm not going to tell you 24/7 is just a love fest in our business, because businesses have challenges, but it has truly changed our relationship with our business, and the relationship that we have with our clients, and the relationship that we have with the good that we put out in the world, that we want to put out in the world. So all of that is certainly available to you. You can click that button right there. You can enroll right away. I recommend you do that as soon as possible so we can get you on my calendar for your customized strategy session, so you have a tight focus on what you need, which is going to be a little bit different than what some other person needs. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us today. You are certainly, it's been our privilege and honor to spend time with you. We don't mind sticking around for a few minutes if you do have any questions, but if you need to hop off, we understand that. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you in the 60-minute Freedom Framework experience.